Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are praying for me. Let this streamline, let the gods of heaven help us today and make sure this live goes well. Okay. Hey, let me tell everybody that I am in the studio and we're live and praying. Y'all pray for me. Y'all pray for me. Pray for me. Pray for me. You guys are in my treasure. Sorry. Yeah, you guys so far. The gods of thinking. Like it's lacking a little bit. So I'm gonna use my mobile passport. It is the issue high this weekend. We're officially live and God is good. Y'all gotta get this message, y'all. I'm telling y'all gotta get this message. Let me scoot back a little bit. I look like I'm so close to the camera. Hmm. Let me get these guys in here. I don't want to jinx it, but I'm about to tell you it's working. Let's see, we're gonna make this a little bit bigger. I don't know. I probably need to get my laptop and manage this from here. You know, you know. All right, so we're gonna get started tonight, and I need you guys to blow this live up. I need you to share it. I'm probably lacking a lot, so I'm going to try to get this log to another network. Let's see. Y'all, come on. Y'all, come on now. Don't sleep. Don't sleep. Wake up. I know tomorrow is work, but we gotta get this on and popping. Let's get it on and pop. You guys, I'm kind of like fidgeting right now because I'm trying to log into this. is happening of me? What's going on here? This is horrible. Can you guys hear me? It's talking about system not responding. It's saying the system is not responding back. What in the world is happening? I have to keep waiting for this. Hmm. And come back, you guys. Hello.
Hi,
You can hear me?
loud and clear.
Okay. Ugh,
Hey,
this has been a struggle. Oh my goodness. This is crazy.
well, I'm glad you figured it out.
It's
Where
been like 40 minutes trying to figure this out. Let's see. Why is it
where are
like
the
that
people
though?
then? Are we
Hmm.
live already?
I don't know. We are live. We're live. But it kicked me out, so I had to change it.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay.
What's going on? Oh Lord. Lord have mercy. What's going on? Jeez. See, Louis. I said I was doing the happy dance, I was praying,
Mhm.
and then boom. But
Oh, you were praying for
anyways,
me. You
let's
were
not
praying for
waste
me to
any
come on. Oh, Jimmy was not. Jimmy was not. Jimmy was praying for me to not come on.
time. No, I'm praying for this thing here to work.
Man said I was praying to. Then he can't tell me. So my man call your. He talk me. Call your sister. I said she's working on it. She's working on it. What your problem? As though I'm not following up. You think my sister's having some issue and I got help to solve her or nothing? I know you mogu henole. You want to bring You better
I
stay away
said,
from me, matter.
I said, while waiting for your call, I get it. Oh. Mm.
Yeah, my
Anyways,
sister.
we don't have time yet. Let's do this thing real quick. Let me pull my notes up. Welcome to Let's Talk with Miss Few. I'm excited. We're back tonight. Oh my goodness. Welcome everybody. Let's each take like let's just like 30 seconds, introduce yourself to everybody. Maybe they forgot who we are. My name is Fifi, aka Miss Fee. I'm back. I'm excited to be here. Thank you guys for, supporting us. I pass it to you. Which one are
Okay.
y'all going?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, our followers, our listeners, our viewer. Thank you for wherever you're joining us from. We are excited to be here again. Unfortunately, we could not continue the show last night due to some technical problem. But again, it's good to be here, and together we all can discuss, our societal issue. Again, welcome, and we want to get the ball rolling soon as possible.
Jimmy, let's go.
Oh, it's my turn? Is it my turn?
So, two of us, the host of myself, we spoken already. Then you ask me if I have time, who else you expect to be here? Or who else you seeing here?
All right. Keep going. I will be right back.
Fee, you photocopy your saying, what happened?
I photocopy myself. I big. Oh Lord.
You
You guys.
want to add Jimmy that is a photocopy himself.
Yeah.
Jimmy, go ahead. We're listening to you.
This is a hot mess.
You joining on the laptop, this is not joining on the phone.
No, I'm not on the laptop.
All right.
So how can you photocopy yourself?
I'm here.
I'm liking this. I'm liking this at all.
All right, go ahead, James. Give your intro quick.
Oh, well, I want to. My name is Jimmy Kiazulu. I want to welcome everyone to tonight's edition of the Talk with Miss Fee. We are happy to be back tonight after a while being absent. So I want to welcome everyone tonight. Let's have a discussion. Let's engage. Let's be professional. Let's be moderate. Let's be civilized. Thank you.
I ain't even ready for that other speech, but you know what? So let me start with this. Tonight we're talking about marriage or roommate, you guys. I came across something that really kind of like cut my ideas, and I was like, oh, we should discuss this. And that's like the new thing that's going on in I want to say US, but I think it's a Western world thing. But tonight we're diving into a tough and controversial question.
What's happening there? Why you keep Fee? Are you there? What's happening there?
She's frozen.
See photocopy was saying again.
I think her internet is
Yeah, I think
glitching.
no, I even changed the internet today. So I was like, I don't know. But you know what? Maybe the ancestors are against me. They don't want me to talk about this particular topic. But anyway, so what happens when your spouse wants to live separately, but you're gonna stay under the same roof? Are you still married, or are you just a roommate? That's the question tonight. Is this a modern love, or is it the beginning of the end? That's what we're trying to understand here. And I really want us to stay on like 4 specific points. First point is separated but together, love or convenience. Is it for financial reasons? And then can you move on while still living together? Those are the questions I want us to answer. And also the marriage contract versus modern living. Oh, Anna is trying to join. Hey, Anna, welcome.
Hi guys.
Hey. And then number four, is it a messy situation or it's just like, is it gonna be a messy fallout when those individuals decide to date again? Like, how does that look like? So those are the things that I want us to kind of like think about when we think about, this new modern life or people, they're married legally, but they're choosing to stay under the same roof because of um oh geez, it's about to happen again. Um because of financial reason or whatever those reasons are. So oh, I would just start out. I don't think people should live under the same roof.
Well, the host is getting some technical problem, and I think the key topic tonight, following, is trying to talk about people living under the same roof. They having some issues when it comes to marriage. Whether it would we still consider that as marriage or what, and that's her concern. You and somebody living under the same roof. Go ahead, feel you back.
Man, this is really bugging me. But let me let you guys start on it while I try to figure out what else I can do on this end.
You want to introduce the topic again because you went on and off. So, for the sake of our viewers, did you
I
get me,
think you
Fee?
should. I I think we have somebody who just joined us. I think you should welcome them. I don't know
Yes,
who that person. I
it's
don't know who
Anna.
that person is.
It's Anna.
Oh, that's Anna.
You know Anna again? Oh, Anna, I told you about this man, but you don't understand.
Let's welcome Anna to the show. So oh my goodness, you guys. I think it's the browser I'm using. Chrome is not working because I just saw a message that said Chrome's not supporting the network.
But I'm using Chrome.
I don't know.
You are on a different network, my friend.
You say Chrome. Okay, maybe on. Okay, I understand. Thank you,
Yeah,
Chief.
on my end, because I just saw a message, but can you guys go on? Is that Chrome isn't responding? That's what I'm saying.
So if your
Do
Chrome is
you
not responding, why can't you use a
do you have
uh,
Microsoft Edge?
Microsoft Edge?
I turn on my computer. Let me see.
But you know, at time Scream, I don't know, ScreamYard will always come through Microsoft through Chrome. I get it through Chrome. So maybe if you can activate it, you can get it. Try
Yeah.
to look for it through Microsoft Edge. It will be okay for you.
Oh, okay.
Then she got to read through the show again. She can read, state the whole thing. Now she gone off. Oh no.
No, 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 no. You guys continue. You guys can continue answering those. Let me forward this question. This message to Anna.
What is going on?
Yeah, I'm not
Jimmy.
sure. I'm not sure. But she sort of follow the information in the chat room so we can look at it. But interestingly,
Hello.
what should we? Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Jimmy. I heard your shade. I heard your shade. I'm
You
Yeah.
here, guys. Hi, Andrew. Thanks for
Hey,
welcoming
Anna, how are
me.
you? Been a long time, man.
I know a lot has been going on.
you said
Yeah.
you heard what?
I said I heard the shade you were throwing. Where he said somebody just came in, you don't know who that is. Uh,
Mine, he was pretending.
I know, that's what I'm telling you. His story shades. I get.
No,
He
I,
pretending.
I was just reminding them to introduce you.
Oh, Jimmy. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. So I think what I heard Felicia talking about was about like should people stay intimate when they're no longer together? Should they live in the same house? Was that the question?
Yes, that's what I understand it to be. Like people, they are no longer intimate, but yet they still live under the same room. Are they married or they are house roommate or so? How do you consider that? It is appropriate, and what should be the reason? She was saying some things and she thought she was going to put in the chat room, but
Okay.
I've been seeing it there so far.
Okay. I personally don't think that people should stay in this. Oh wait, she sent
Okay,
something.
she's posting in the chat room.
Okay.
Let me she try to highlight four things here. It's in the chat room.
For convenience.
And she said here, the first one she says, you want to discuss discussion points separate but together.
So can we
Separate.
discuss one point at a time?
Yeah, I want to go through the points,
Sure.
then we know. She says separate but together. Love or convenience is a question she's asking. The second point she said, okay, she said, is living under one roof without intimacy a way to keep peace or just avoiding the truth that relationship is over? That is point number one. That's a question. Again, some argue is financial arrangement, not a marriage. Others says is practical love, respecting each other space. Point two says, can you move on while still living together? Can you move on while both of you still living together? If one partner starts dating while still cohabitating, is that betrayal or it just honesty? Does they create emotional entanglement and jealousy, or can mature adults handle it? The third point says the marriage contract versus modern living. Marriage contract versus modern living. Is it worth to call yourself husband and wife if you have stopped being romantic? Does this arrangement water down the meaning of marriage or redefine it for today's world? The last one says the message further. Personal story. You try it in a badly. Why does it usually crash? Is the risk of bitterness and emotional trauma worth the temporary comfort? So she have four key talking points here tonight. She's talking about the first one we want us to discuss on is separate but together. Love or convenience. Love or convenience. You are separate, but you are together. So she asked her two questions. Is living under one roof? That's the first one we're going to discuss. Is living under one roof without intimacy a way to keep peace or just avoiding the truth that the relationship is over? And then some people say, some argument is financial, say it's a financial arrangement, not a marriage. That other people's view. So I don't know what kind of view you're going to get. But let's look at the first point, separate but together, love or is convenience. Is living under one roof, that's a question talking point there. Is living under one roof without intimacy a way to keep peace or just avoiding the truth that the relationship is over? We're going to give each other at least 3 minutes to chew on that topic, and then we skip on to the next talking point. At least three minutes each. We start with you, Jimmy.
Why not bring the lady first? Amen.
The co-host will start with the panelists on
Jimmy, please
my.
go ahead. Go ahead. I want to be processing what you're saying. So go ahead, please.
All right. If we can repeat if you can repeat the talking point for me, that would be helpful.
Okay, you don't try to buy time yet. Okay, it says the talking point says is living under one roof. The key talking point is they're living on separate Is living under one roof without intimacy a way to keep peace, or you just avoiding your truth that relationship is over? So two are living together. It is a way to keep the peace, or you just want to avoid each other, knowing that your relationship is over. What's your take on that?
Well, thank you very much. I believe when couple get divorced, I believe in um complete. I mean, keeping a distance, protecting your personal space, protecting your peace of mind, and protecting your integrity.
Why
Because
you think?
there's a reason why you went through divorce. If you could not resolve what caused you to divorce, why live together after divorce? I see it as a dangerous move, and it is unhealthy for the two people, and no one should be entitled to know the business of another person, or no one should feel entitled to know, the business of another person after a divorce. But living together will definitely bring you back into the other person's business and all of that. Okay. And it also, living together after divorce makes it difficult for either of you to move on completely. Okay. However, there are factors that could um, make couple wants to live together after divorce, but um, those factors will still be handled without living together. So for me, I strongly believe that after divorce, there's no need for you to live together, and I hold on to that.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's welcome Mr. Peterson Walker on stage. Thank you so much for joining us. Been a while, and
Thank
we want to
you.
wholeheartedly welcome you. See, you didn't join last night because I spy you somewhere last night, so but we're talking about home off air, and so
What were
we
you
just
doing there?
no, we just on the first talking point where we're talking about separate, but together, love and convenience. Is living under one roof without intimacy a way to keep peace, or just avoiding the truth that a relationship is over? And that was the point. That was Jimmy's point he just raised, and I gave each one of our 3 minutes to talk. So we're going to go back before we join Miss Fee. We come on there to continue from there. We should continue moderation, but we will go back to Anna. Anna, you can have your take on it before we come to Peterson, and then I gave my view, and then Miss Fee gave her view in continuing the show. So Anna, you are
Okay.
welcome, and it's your point. 3 minutes.
Okay. When I thought about this topic and looking at the discussion points, I thought it necessarily was not referring to divorced couples. It
Yeah.
referred to people that are either married or have issues and they're separated but staying together. Am I correct, Felicia?
I think I got your point.
Absolutely. Well, the end goal is that they're pursuing divorce, but it's not official yet. It's
Okay,
at
so
the level where they're discussing it that they're going, like one
so they're
person is
not
completely
compatible.
out.
So they're
Right,
they're
right. There's a
incompatible.
discussion that we're done and we're filing for divorce. But due to the sake of the children, which we've talked about on here before, right? For the sake of the children, or for the sake of whatever, we'll stay under the same roof. And, whatever those reasons are, like, should that even happen if somebody's already done with a relationship? So that's what we're trying to understand.
I personally think that there are several reasons why people do it in the first place, but I don't think it's advisable to do that. If you're staying there in hopes that your relationship could get back to where it needs to be, then yes. But I think that in respect to the discussion point, I don't think that is because of love that people stay together. Maybe one person, maybe the person that filed or wants to leave is no longer in love, but the other person may be in love. But there are two sides to the coin, right? I think that generally most times people stay together because maybe they want to end their lease. You know, in America or in the diaspora, people tend to live together after a separation or after realizing that they don't want to be together because one of their housing situation, they probably have a lease that they don't want to break. They have to pay the bills. Two, because maybe they have children together and they probably don't want the children seeing that they're not together anymore. Another reason that I can think of is, I won't say it's mainly for convenience, but because it's more so of like, okay, let's tolerate each other until the lease is up and then we leave, you know. But there's also another possibility where there could be love there, but the other person that's not wanting the divorce or the separation, that the person is hoping that something could change out of the relationship if they do live together. I do think that if you're having problems with people or your spouse or your significant other, taking that break away from each other could be very useful. It could either break you guys or bring you guys apart, and or bring you guys back together. But I think that it's healthy if you guys stay apart from each other. Like Jimmy was saying earlier, it could really bring a lot of jealousy if the other person moves on and the other person that's in love is seeing the movements of the other person and monitoring them. It could cause a lot of issues. So I definitely wouldn't recommend living together. If you guys plan on separating, it's better for you guys to move your separate ways. But if you guys have a lease together, you must stay together to finish the lease, then yeah, you should do it. But you have to try to be a mature person. But it's not recommended. I wouldn't recommend such an arrangement. Now, the point about uh um is living under one roof without intimacy way to keep peace.
Before you
I
come in,
think
Anna, let me kind of like butt in really quickly, right?
okay.
I think everybody's looking at it from a different. So there was a story I read, right, that
Mhm.
is trending now due to financial reasons and everything. A lot of couples are not together, but like they're not being intimate together. Like legally, they're still married because you have to wait that time period, and they're
Mhm.
not being intimate with each other. But there's a trend that people are actually living in the same roof, under the same roof,
Mhm.
and like, but the other persons they're both dating other people, and they're
Hmm.
under the same roof. So that's where this topic is coming from. So I want you guys to kind of like put your mind under that. Like, what does that look like?
And
Like,
if it's a mutual thing, then yeah, it works for them, right? I would
do
say in
you
that
think that's
situation,
safe though? Do you think it's
yeah,
safe?
because it's safe if it's a mutual something. Yeah, there are people that would do that. They will mutually stay together. Okay, it didn't work out. I know a lady, one of my sister's friends, who currently cohabits with her boyfriend. They broke up, but they're still living together to end their lease, right? And one thing I realized is that the guy low key still likes her. He doesn't sleep with her, but he when other people are around her, he tends to have jealous tendencies. It may not be healthy, but again, he has no right to say anything, right? Because they've agreed that, okay, let's stay to the end of the lease. So if it's a mutual
Hmm.
something, it should be okay. If you guys already know that you guys cannot be together and you guys have to stay together for the sake of saving money, yeah, do it. Whatever works. Life is getting difficult, things are getting expensive. Imagine having two incomes and then all of a sudden you have one. So I mean, whatever works as long as you guys respect each other's boundaries. I don't see anything wrong with that. If
Okay,
you
let's
feel
hear
like
from the guys. I disagree though. I don't think it should ever be tried, in my opinion, especially if both are planning on dating, then you need to count your financial loss. But hey, let's hear everybody else.
okay.
Yeah, Peterson, go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Guys, hello. As up to you people, and thank you so much for keeping the show. I know we were like somehow down for some time, but thank you so much, Fee, for coming back and co-host. I spotted you on a lot of other platforms. Your backdoor platform that is moving very strong. So yeah, thank you guys, man. We gotta keep talking, keep being there. I think what we do it has some other positive impact on other people, and I can just say something towards this topic. This topic it has legal implication, social, and it have mutual understanding. You know, side of it. And in my own opinion, to look at it to discuss it, it depends from which perspective would I be discussing this. If I'm discussing this from the legal perspective, as resident of Canada, is allowed under the law, and
Mm.
yeah, it's allowed under the law. You guys can be divorced and can still live under the same roof. Uh, and but doing that, there must be clear boundaries set up, and every one of you should be able to observe this boundary. And anybody who goes against that boundary must be held liable by the law. So it's allowed. It can work, and there are a lot of pros to that, more than the cons. I can say, living under the same roof as people who are divorced, you look at financial implication. It help a lot, especially when other partners want to do some other stuff. It help you through financial means. That's one side of it. Now, the other side is it has to do with moving on, being able to get strong to move on. Because when you guys are reached to the point of divorce, sometimes it can be some misunderstanding. And if one partner decide from our point of view that she or he will not make it and will want to move on, and you living under the same roof, going by the law, there must be boundaries set, and it also help that person to move on. And the other side, the other negative side of it, even though the law permits that, but there are other negative side of it. That Jimmy, when I came on, he was clearly saying that, emotionally, if you are not strong, you get derailed. That which is not good for either of you, because especially men, women more often, some women they are strong. When they are very strong, when they say no to it, they are no to it. But men, you say no to it, but still, when you see that woman, you still feel that she's entitled to you, or something like that. So emotionally, it plays on the other men. So legally, it's okay. Now, the social aspect of it, that's where the emotional trauma comes in. That's where some other stuff comes in, and that could not be too good. It could help the children in a lot of ways, and I can say that for sure. If a man maybe prematurely decide to leave the woman and decide to do different things, if this woman is strong enough to allow that man to live under the same roof, even though he's doing many other stuff, it also help to bring out those children. Because in our tradition, or back home, they say women will never go leave their marriage home because of the children. sometimes the men will go bring a lot of women, be bringing women to the house, but this lady will sit there thinking that, look, I have my daughter, I have my son, and it's suffering. I will not allow myself to leave this home because if I leave, these children's future may be undermined. So for that, women always, get that positive attribute of holding that relationship or being there, even though they are not in relationship with that person. But that's the other aspect. Okay, the emotion. That's the other aspect that supports the morality to keep the children in good health, to keep the children mind set right. Because no matter what happens, a lady will always be a lady. In fact, to the extent that if even you say you hatch, you want to keep your children in check, those children got to know they will just be playful and they have no time. You talking, they're doing different things. But hey, if the father look at them, just not talking, but turning around looking at that child, the child will just live easy because the child understand that communication. My daddy is not happy with that. Even though living together it has other side of it, but if you thinking that yes, I'm doing this for the cause, it's advisable. It's good that you do it. So for me, in my own mind, why it has some negative aspect, I think the positive aspect it brings a lot to the table than the negative. The negative will maybe emotion because the person is there, violence will come. But if clear boundaries are set, that guy is in his room, in his activities, doing his thing, and you are in your area. Everybody understand you're doing your thing separately. You guys can live there for a little while and then go by yourself. When you get to know things are getting better, you go by yourself. I think I support that. I'm not strongly against it, but it has some negative aspect that which we cannot overlook.
I mean, you kind of like got me there on those points, but ooh, is it my turn? I I think you guys some really good points, but I'm just looking at it from the social standpoint, and I feel like people can say they're okay with that until it happened, right? When, especially when I feel like every relationship that ever ends, there's always one person who still have that hope for it to work. And even though they don't have a choice, you can't force somebody to be in a relationship with you, right? You all you can do is just go with the flow. And sometimes I feel like somebody in the back of their mind, they're thinking, okay, maybe one day he or she will change their mind and we'll work this out. So I'm willing to be here. I heard Anna. I think Anna was talking about it from a temporary standpoint, right? Like if we're in a legal, like we bought a house together or we're renting a place and I don't want to mess up my credit and things like that. Okay, let's stay in the same home and see how that goes. But in the long run, and then also Peterson, you're looking at it from the long term, like long haul. I know I have seen online people who like they're divorcing, but they're still taking family pictures together. They're still together. That I support. I feel like if you're going to do the whole separation, it's better for your mental, whatever brought that into your mind, even though it legally is okay and things like that. I feel like whatever brought that into your mind, it's better you have that space away from that environment so you can better think. You can still like have everything that you do with the kids, like if it's something about the kids school, you can still communicate with that. But I feel like it's very dangerous because sometimes somebody is not fully over it. So how do you do it? Do you set up the rules that your boyfriend or girlfriend, whoever, is not allowed to come in the home? Then now somebody starts saying, well, if I'm living here, I pay my bill and we're not together, what's the problem? I'm just looking at it from that standpoint, like the social aspect of it, because now you bring a guy and then the husband or supposedly ex-husband is upset, or the woman or the man brings someone and the woman is feeling, I don't know. I feel like overall, even though it's legal, I still feel like you shouldn't do it. I don't care how the if we have to stay to the end of our lease, then we can stay. We're still together. We work through our issue, whatever that is. When the lease is coming to an end, we revisit the conversation and see if we can live separately. So that way I can be mentally okay that, hey, yes, for the sake of the children, let's talk. Let's see what was the main reason. Maybe that separation from you will help me understand why I need the relationship or why I don't need the relationship. And then you have the freedom to actually be present with yourself and learn the things that you did wrong in the relationship. Because I just feel like when you're in the relationship and you're still under the same roof, I feel like it's disrespectful when you start to date someone or see someone. I don't know. That's where I'm gonna leave that at. But I don't know. I can't support it. Somebody put a gun to your head while you sleeping. Oh Lord.
That's the emotional aspect right there. I
Huh?
mean, that's the emotional aspect right there. That's why we acknowledge that. That's the emotional
Yeah.
aspect. But
So
again, let's say
go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm saying that, but it's, again, no matter where it goes, people will always have, other side of it. In fact, even if you guys are not together, living different area, if one person still have that emotional trauma, they will still see you, even though they will pretend that they're healing. They will still
Right.
see you raise some stuff. Living together on the same roof does not negate the fact that somebody will not still say, look, you know what, I don't see any reason for which we should separate, especially after a certain time somebody is trying to give in. That it's possible that you guys can talk to each other anytime.
Right. So the next thing on here is it wrong? Would it be so how do you tell your families and friends? Are you still consider husband and wife or just partners? Like what does that how do you communicate that? Or is nobody business?
Who's speaking?
Is it? Huh?
Who's
Jimmy
speaking
just
about?
looking. You guys,
Jimmy, you
before we
picking
even
up?
go, I figured it out. It was the browser. It was Chrome had issues, so I had to use Microsoft Edge. You guys are so smart.
Okay, so the reason I'm just looking is because it's like you and Fee are having the show all by yourself, and
Oh
I'm
my
just
God.
sitting
No,
here
go
observing.
ahead. You can go ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead. Oh my
Anna
goodness.
You came from a wedding with political toy, eh?
Anna is
I'm
there,
telling
and
you, man.
we just looking. We who came from our wedding yesterday, we are just looking.
Okay.
Anyway, um, living together after marriage is not advisable. There are several factors. Number one, we look at the emotional complexity, that comes with it. Um, the unresolved feeling, if there are unresolved feelings, you know, those feelings will always reignite itself living together. I believe there was a reason why there was a issue that you both should not settle that led to divorce. I know some of the reasons that that couple may want to stay together after divorce, like Anna mentioned, mortgage or lease agreement and all of that. But that should be for short term. And I will also buy into what Pete said that if that's going to be an issue, then hold on to it, and then once the lease is going to an end, start the process. And move away from each other, because if you could not handle that particular issue that led to divorce, living together will not solve it after divorce. Another reason why couples should not live together is, boundary challenges. Boundary challenges will be very difficult to handle living in the same space with your ex-wife or your ex-husband. You have certain things you have to share in common. Let's say you're in a home that have many rooms. The husband is in his room and the wife on her end, or you have one living room, you have one kitchen. That is what you're both going to be sharing together. Let's say the husband or the wife decide to move on, and he has a spouse that comes in to visit, and women are very protective of their kitchen and their living room, you know. So boundary protection is going to be an issue to either of you. Okay, it's going to be an issue because some women like to arrange their kitchen the way they want it, and when they come back, they don't mean it like that. Hell is going to break loose. Okay, there you go. I see somebody hitting their chest. Yeah, so another disadvantage is the re-traumatization. It is traumatizing that you and this person, you're no longer cohabiting and you're together, and women, some of them will intentionally dress inappropriately, you know um to act your emotions. And even if you ignore it and you leave the scene, go to your room, your mind will keep playing that particular, event, and which may lead to some traumatizing situation for the man, or sometimes, even for the woman. Some women are obsessed with a man's body, especially when the man has, I don't want to say a body like Andrew, because
Six
he
packs.
got,
Small six pack.
yeah, and I mean it's re-traumatizing because you're trying to move away from this thing, and then but every minute it is right in your face. It becomes difficult. It becomes difficult. It stirs emotions, and it have psychological effect on the mind. And finally, before I turn over, another disadvantage of living together after divorce is, um you know co-parenting can also be a challenge. Co-parenting, because at that point the child is in between. Okay, when the child want to be with a mom and the dad wants the child to be with him, it becomes an issue. What are you doing? What are you doing in your dad room? Why are you not in your room? Why are you not, how to call it, this place, and how to call it in that place? Sometimes, you know, uh, people look for little um spot just to spark something, you know. And if the child is in the middle, in the same home, it becomes a trouble. So I believe when you divorce, you both should go your separate way. You can still co-parent together without living together. Okay. Yeah. My business, you should have no access to my business, and I should have no access to your business. Your life to be private, just like mine. So I don't buy into that. Living together after divorce is a no for me.
Thank you, Jimmy. Hey, for once, me and Jimmy are on the same page. Wow.
Oh,
Let's hear from Andrew.
Okay, great point, great topic, and interesting how to also share on my platform and one in my other platform. The guy was talking about Peterson was talking about the image that, but we'll talk that one later. But I think this is interesting. I don't know which side to take, but Peterson spoke on the issue of legality because we those are in Canada. The legal aspect permits that to happen. You can do that. That can happen. You can live under the same roof, but the social aspect too will also play into as well because you are on separation and you using the same roof and rest of it. But come to think about it, if I brought somebody in the house, the emotion, the social aspect will leave with some different emotion that somebody will say, oh, well, how I'm sitting water and she's bringing in somebody, and I'm sitting water, he's bringing in somebody. So that connect, there will be a disconnect, and that will lead to something greater than that. The emotional tension will rise. And so for me, in that much that legality involved, and the law may permit that to happen, but rationally, from my own understanding and thinking, I wouldn't go that level. If both of us were living under the same roof and we got divorced for whatever, or we on separation and we decide not to have intimacy again for the next maybe, I mean, we decide not to have intimacy and we have never even had intimacy for the last maybe 6 7 months or a year. What the essence of me being there? I personally would take the decision to walk out to move out. I will not stay there, even though the law permit me to do it. But I will not stand the emotional torture and emotional stress that will be going on from the social aspect. Because mind you also got to be careful. According to what Peterson said, the law will indict you, the law will hold you responsible. If you did anything wrong to that, the law will say, okay, well, you are not forced to do that. You are not forced to engage into that. You would have gone in your room and closed your eye, but you see somebody that you have feelings for before, and their feeling is being shared with another person in your person. Obviously, emotionally, it traumatizes you and it will blow you up, man. So if you a person that are hard temperamental, you're going to fall into a serious problem. So for me personally, I will avoid the situation. I will just move out. If it comes to the issue, we can co-parent. If we have kids, we can co-parent with need be. But whatever the case may be, whatever contribution I can give to the children, the law will tell me to do it, and I will do it. And we will co-parent. The children will come to my house or car come to my house, whatever. I pick them up. I wouldn't have to enter the house. I pick them up. She will also do the same thing too. But on that note, I wouldn't agree. It's a risk for the both partners or a strange partner. That would be a risk for two of them. It is not advisable. Legally, it is okay, but socially and emotionally, it is not okay. There will be a problem. So to avoid it, just go by your business and sit there and monitor the pitch and watch how the game goes.
Okay.
I think everybody have a different.
Yeah, I have a quick question, Peterson, before you come in, right? So, to your point about you were supporting and things like that, right? What do you think about? Yeah, you and Anna spoke on one. Anna spoke about the fact that there's one income coming in now and not two, and of course, it's a lot of struggle. The kids are going to struggle because now they have to. The family dynamic has changed, so they have to go to dad house, go to mom house. So I
Fee,
understand that part of
fee,
it, right?
fee.
You you don't.
Just before you
Uh-huh.
go further, sorry, let me just interrupt you. And this
Mhm.
situation that is going on currently, that we're discussing right now, I know a friend who is
Mhm.
in that situation for the last 5 years. They have been in that situation. They are living under the same roof. The children are there, and he's going through that kind of situation as we speak. She brings in he at the house, and quote unquote boyfriend bring her home. They beating his parking lot and other kind of stuff. This thing is happening to a friend of mine. Now I will speak. I thought to interject that. And I have been advising him on a clever note to do what he able to do best. And then he say, move out of your house. I say, you should think, but decide what will best for you. But for me, I cannot take it.
Right, right. And that's where, because I feel like sometimes, thank you for saying that, because it's really happening a lot recently. I was watching something and it's like a trend now where everybody's doing it. And I get the part of it where, it's okay, but I'm also thinking like, is there a better way that it can be done? Okay, you live separately, I live separately, we can still put finance together if you trust me that much and I trust you that much and we want to help each other out. Let's just say if we have kids. If we don't have kids, I have nothing to do with you. Bye. But I feel like I get it for people who have children. My question is, do you think there's a better way that can be done without being the same whole, like what Andrew just said, right? The woman brings in the boyfriend, maybe not in the house, but they're outside chit-chatting. You have a patio. She's entertaining her guests. How does that make you feel? Even though legally, yeah, you're there. Your emotion, I don't care how you're over that person, something's going to spark up, because one, it depends. Also, if you have children together, how long you've been together, when you start to think about, when you started your relationship. And then also, how does that look like for the new person that's entering into your life? What does that look like as a whole?
Okay, thank you, Fee. Before I answer that question, let me just inject a few points.
Mhm.
Don't think my position or any other persons who may support these people position is going to be roses. No,
Right.
it's not a point. The point here is looking at comparing two things, which one take precedence. That's the one people would generally say yes. Before you see people come together and agree to put it as a legal document, they have outweighed the positive and the negative aspect of it and try to rationalize what makes it, what will, present it to be a legal instrument. Now, it's never bad if you get into divorce immediately to leave. No, very good, brilliant one, you can do that. But if a situation, mainly if you have case, the best idea would be, look, you know what? If you are not ready to move out, if you are not ready to do anything, and there are other constraints you think, even though this, disconnect happened prematurely, you think you can still be around to be a support, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, unfortunately, we came from different backgrounds. That we came up from, the kind of a society. So our minds are molded as per our tradition, as
Right.
per our location. And so we see certain things that it should not happen, no matter how it is. We look at it from the emotional and other side of it. But you know what? Right in this country where we are, you can even, I'm sorry to say, you can even marry a woman today and a woman say she doesn't want you. You can live in the same room, bedroom. You dare to touch her. And some guys have to see it, nothing wrong. They are there. So the point is, which one do you go for that is suitable for you? If you think, say, look, being here, I'm going to get into problem, and better I leave, and you have the financial power, you have everything to leave, bravo, you can go. But because people watch us and listen and try to analyze, in my own thinking, it should be a decision by you yourself, which one
Right.
works best for you. It should not be like a judgment, like if I do this, it presents a serious negative aspect of it. So I want to say, if you have child by this lady, for example, okay, if you have a relationship, maybe your wife had triplets. I just want to put in that scenario that you can look at
Right.
what make it necessary that you be around. Your wife has triplets, maybe just 3 boys, and these children, they like maybe 2 years old. They were serious problems. She says she doesn't want you anymore. You can be on your own. In fact, she doesn't want to see you. Now, will you leave these children with her and go elsewhere? Maybe be sending money to that home, or will you be right there and be able to grow your children to a certain level before you move on? That is left with you. If you think that your future is much more, or let's say your emotions should take precedence over maybe your own destiny. That's it. Now, you talk about is there any other positive step you can take to avoid such a thing? Yes, there are lots. There are lots. These days, if you live under the same roof, it does not mean that you guys are in the same room. You can live there. When you got to know that such thing is happening, you can leave and go out. You can do anything. You get your working time. The only free time you may have to have time with your children or to give some other guardian to your children will be the time that you will be available home. And the children will know that our daddy is here. Whether you guys are going through many things, they don't know. But once they see you around, they know daddy is here. They govern himself. They listen to everything. They go along. But you, as a mature man, you know your wife or your ex is like this. You do different things. You go to work. Some days you know something is happening. Go out. You can go other area. If you have your relationship coming through, you have to let your spouse know, or the person that is coming to you know, this person is my ex. We are living here because we have kids, and I don't want to leave my children prematurely. That's why we are here. So I want you to know that and be able to know how you are in this house. That lady herself knows what she needs to put into place. She's not going to invade your privacy. She knows that very well. She already set the boundary. Many times, this emotional aspect is from men, not from women, to be frank, from men. And if, like my brother Andrew mentioned, if you as a man, you still live under that same roof, and you feel that you are being tormented, then something might be wrong with you. Because if Peterson got to know that, look, I still love this woman, and she said no to me, and if I remain here, something going to happen. I give myself 3 months, I'll be out of that place. You get that? But if I'm still in that house, then I feel that I'm going through stress, then something might be happening to me. So there are a lot of ways you can do that, Fee. There are a lot of ways. But for me, if there are nothing like kiss and what have you, it's good. You can move out, you can do anything. In fact, if it is for lease, you can contribute to that lease, no problem with that. But if you have kids, especially young kids, your best would be try to give that shelter, try to get that future to your children to reach a certain level, then you move on. Because it's not possible. Female, one person cannot take care of children.
I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. I think thank you so much for that. We're kind of running out of time. Let's look at the comment section really quick so we can try to wrap things up real quick. So River says Pro, welcome. How are you? River says Pro, why are you? Oh, I didn't put a link in the comment section. Oh my God. But River says Pro has a few questions. He said when a man is mentally strong, he wouldn't bother by who she brings in the house after separation. There's a reason who didn't want each other anymore. I get that, but I still feel like there's that emotional connection that things are gonna fall apart. And you made a statement, Peterson, about men usually. I would say no. I would say women are usually the one who's really ready to stop the cat fight, because one, they're talking to their friends, telling them, yeah, you will not believe that man, he on the phone all night, people can't sleep. You know? so, so so I kind of disagree on that one though. Let's see this one. He said when a man is meant, okay. What was the next one?
I don't
Yeah.
agree.
See,
In most
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
uh, can you
uh,
please quote back the previous comment from Riverside Pro?
Sure. Which one? The one, that one?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
When a man is mentally strong, he wouldn't be bothered by who she brings in the house after separation. There's a reason who didn't want, you know, each other anymore. Now, not wanting somebody and sharing a same space with a person is dangerous. Number one, it slow down healing, it delay the healing. And whenever divorce happens, one person is always hurt the most. It could be the man or it could be the woman. One person is always hurt the most. And being in the same space and bringing in another person, it stirs up emotions. And that makes it very, insecure for you to be in the same space. Because I don't care how careful you try to be, there will be something that will spark up the cat fight, in my fee voice. So no matter how mentally strong a man is, there are certain things about women that a man will not stand. No matter how you don't want that woman, if you see that woman with another man, especially in the same space, remember you're in that same space, you still paying, your portion of the mortgage, so that entitlement, is there. It will come, you know. So those things can or lead into something very dangerous. So the best thing is, you know, you go your separate way. There's no need for that. Yeah. No need to, keep traumatizing yourself or traumatizing somebody else only because you want to get at it.
Thank you. Anybody else want to add anything? I'm going to the next comment.
Yeah, I think I got a point on there. Like before you go to the next statement, and
Okay.
it is true. It's true that we see it, right? Look, it's not an issue of who is mentally or physically or whatever was strong. Now, what they call trauma, it can lead to karma. And then
Mm,
when that happens to you, you can be the look we men. Let me put in my case. I will put it squarely. I will not even agree that. I not avoid it because it slows down the healing process in you. It slows down, when you want to gain your mental composures again, right? Especially when you really love that woman. And then she says, oh, I don't want a relationship. Maybe probably she found another relationship. And then she says, oh, I don't want a relationship again. And you said that, oh, yeah, because you don't want a relationship again. She doesn't want a relationship. Yet you still love her. Remember, let me not do it. Let me not leave it for a woman, right? Let me be balanced here. Whoever the spouse may be, whether the man or the woman, whosoever still love, their spouse, I tell you what, they will always want to be around. They will always be emotionally stressed out. They won't want to see that happening. So if you whether you are mentally or not strong, that had for me, it have nothing to do with mentally strong. Unless you tell me, say you are so hard-hearted that you would not even want to pay attention to anything. But if you really love somebody, no matter you the man, he's speaking in the context of men. So let me say the term of men. But if I'm a man, I can be sure mentally on that point, my spouse and myself living together and we part today, you say, oh, I don't want you again. And then I see you, in a house, in a much that there's no restriction on the house, then you talking with, oh yeah, you making it, baby, how are you? You okay? I missed you last night. Okay, I will come and see you, and maybe I overheard it, and you seeing something. You talking about mentally strong? You love somebody already, and your heart is still in a relationship, and you talking about mentally strong? No. That other mentally strong will not even hold with me easily. The best thing to hold it personally, the best thing to hold it, to avoid it, and move out. The house will be there. The mortgage will be paid, whatever we pay it for the sake of my kids if they are there. But whatever the situation may be, I will leave you and go by my business to free myself out of mental tension. Now I will not be able to do that.
My question, Fee, just
Go ahead.
just a question. And this question is maybe okay. Let me just leave it open for everybody. But I want us to be straight for Jimmy and Don. But you can also
Fee,
yeah.
let me just make a quick point there. Andrew,
Well, he said he wanted to ask a question. He said he wanted to ask a
I want to
question.
get my question
Let me ask a question for you, Jimmy. The question for you.
Oh, okay.
He said for both of us.
I said my question needed for both of you because you guys are the men, and the women can answer it to as well. That my question has to do, if you were given the opportunity to marry a second wife, will you do that? Do you feel stable mentally to marry a second wife, bring her in the same home? And
okay, let me go first.
Guys, answer it. And how I mean, I want us to be balanced, not our own self. Think about the society.
Other people, right? My ears are open. I'm listening.
Okay.
Jimmy, let me go before you come there. Yeah. For me, he asking whether I will be stable to bring another wife in. So look, the thing is, look, let's call spade a spade, right? For other people, I would not advise you to do that. You rather look,
for you, we want to know for you.
Personally, I would not agree. I will not even bring another woman in the house there to avoid it. We are all the person myself can be indifferent, but not in our house. I will not do it. Yeah, I will not do it. Because my man, we men, look, my man, I will hack and cut quick money the women. Let me tell you, you know it. So for me to avoid it, look, any woman I get, my woman myself, I get my estranged wife, and two of us, we are on divorce or we are on separation, we are divorced, but we live in the same house. I will not even carry you there. If they can't take something and knock it on a $2 here. The best thing, stay away wherever your woman and one can will be there. If they will get married, we'll marry, but not bring you in our house.
I wish you also on the show to answer it too.
Really? Okay. The link is pinned in the comment section. I need you on, please.
Let me come in. First of all, between a man and a woman, when a woman says she's completely done, she's done. When a man says he's done, he's not completely done. See, so those are some of the complexities that comes with, living together after divorce. Bringing in another woman in the same home after divorce is the greatest war that will ever take place on the face of the earth. That the probability of survival is so slim.
Jimmy.
In the first place, the possibility of survival, rather. In the first place, if we have kids, if I have kids by my divorced wife, and the kid lives in our home with us, bringing in a second wife is traumatizing to the kid. He doesn't know who to call mommy. He doesn't know, who to call auntie. So a kid, it puts the kid or the kids between the scissors. You make it difficult for them to determine, who their loyalty should go to.
I have a
you
question for you,
or
Jimmy.
their mother. Or sometimes said just by doing that, it sets the kids against you. And women are noted for making kids turn against their father. They're very good at that. And you bringing in
Jimmy,
another wife just makes it very, very difficult.
Jimmy, but this
Okay.
is if you guys are divorced, though. We're talking about people that are still
I'm
in the
talking about
process
you're still
of
together.
divorcing.
In the process of divorcing.
Separating.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
separating. Like you guys are
separating.
not together. You guys are no longer together as far as being
But
happy with each other.
if
You
if
guys
you
are
guys are on
considering,
separation, if you guys are on separation
but
without
staying in one
the
house.
divorce being finalized, that means you're still married.
Yes,
Yes,
you
that's what
guys
it
are
said. You're
separated.
legally married, but one person is out. But the agreement is we for financial reason, let's live together. You know, a lot of people are separated, but they never ever go and file the divorce paper. They're just hanging around, even though they live separately, right? This situation is they're living under the same roof. They're ready to date, and for financial reason, nobody's leaving. We all staying here. We die here.
So
But
Okay.
we ain't together. We're not
Okay.
intimate at all.
that's my point. I mean, that's my point. My
Then
point
there
is
will be a
this.
calamity for you to even think of bringing in another.
Guys,
Yeah.
the
So
question you guys,
God is saying your own separation and legally
no,
it
no,
is.
no, no. My question, even though I wanted to drive it into separation and divorce, but my question is, you guys are in a very good mood.
Y'all
Everything,
changed the whole thing. Now
and
y'all
then,
making it
and
so
then you
long.
get the opportunity. You get the opportunity. Your wife said,
Yeah,
"Look,
for
see
long
how
we
you
can hear
are.
you. Let choose some who is small.
You can bring another woman." I fully in support of it, and then you have that opportunity to bring another woman, and you are polygamous. Let me just say that you are
Peterson,
polygamous.
stop there.
Is that the only thing will save the marriage? Is that the only thing will save the
Let me
marriage?
tell you
Because
this,
let me
Peterson.
speak from a woman's standpoint. I will
Let me
agree. If I still love my husband, I will agree to have another woman. But there will be boundaries. Look at
look.
you're surprised I'm
Peterson,
saying
let me
that,
tell you
right?
this.
Let's move
Let,
ahead. Besides
let me tell you this.
everything
If
our
you are on separation or in a
Uh-huh.
divorce proceeding,
Yeah, in the process of you haven't filed yet. In this
if you
situation,
are
right? You have not filed, but somebody said, I'm out. I don't want this relationship. I want to be out. I'm ready to date other people. I don't want this
okay,
relationship, but because financially, hold on 1 second. Let me set another premises, okay? Let's say the woman was stay-at-home mom, right? She has not been working and has zero income. The only income is what the man provide for the home, right? And that's the only option she has for her to have some type of income and figure out her life. Would that be a little bit different than okay, vice versa? This is Felicia. She works, she earned her income, her husband earned an income, right? And we don't want this relationship anymore, but we want to live. We're accustomed to certain lifestyle, so we want to keep that lifestyle. That's the trend. We're accustomed to certain lifestyle. We want to keep that lifestyle. We don't want to marry anybody else, but right now it doesn't work for us. We don't want to be together. I want to see other people. You want to see other people. We will file for divorce, but we have not. So is that advisable?
okay. So, Fee, there is something here called open relationship.
Hey, Bob, Jimmy,
I knew Jimmy was gonna go that route.
If
you
two of you can be in a relationship and agree that you guys will do stuff that we please your
Individually,
desire. Yeah.
right?
So
So you will
that's a
call that
open.
you wouldn't call that a separation. You will call it an open relationship.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's not separation. It's open
that legal
relationship.
too?
Okay.
Huh?
Eh?
Do you have it? Is that legal?
People don't
No,
care if
it's
it's legal.
if y'all want to make if y'all want to make it legally binding, I call it, you can go and have it. But as far as you have mutual understanding, you know, yeah, that is
That is possible.
that is possible. But
That
here is my thing: when you are in a divorce proceeding, remember you are still under a vow. Until that divorce can go through, there should be no other woman, especially in a civil marriage. There should be no other woman that way, that should, interfere in that marriage until the divorce is completed. If
Hmm.
you bring in another woman, you have broken the contract, and now the other woman can use that against you, and file for emotional or how to call it, how to call it damage, while the divorce proceeding is still going on because it's not finalized. I've seen people who have been through the process of divorce, and at a certain point they cut it off and they decide to come back together and fix their marriage.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so remember that you are under a vow, and you are not supposed to bring in another person until the process is completed.
I think it's only if you
to,
marry as you're
to
marrying a monogamous relationship. If you marry, like in Africa, for example, when you're
Yeah,
signing marriage, it gives you the option to put monogamy or polygamy. If you put polygamy, I think marrying another spouse is okay. It's not breaking any contracts.
I just
I don't
want to
know if
be
I
real
don't know.
Not in
I
the
don't know if
U.S. though. Anna, not in the U.S.
Are you guys we have audience from Africa, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, true.
So I'm
True.
thinking if you guys are speaking in terms of that, you guys have to specify, because if we
or
have
traditional marriage
African
allow you to
audience,
have more than one wife.
huh?
In Liberia, well, every country is different, right?
Like for
Every
example,
country
in
have different.
Cameroon, when you're
In
signing in
Liberia,
court,
if you marry traditionally,
no,
a man is allowed to have more than one wife.
Check it.
okay.
Thank
What
God, yeah.
about in court? Because the reason why I'm asking is because, like for example, in Cameroon, if you're getting married in court, there's a section of the court paper, the certificate, that says polygamy or monogamy.
Your wife will
If you
look at
do
you.
sign,
Which one you choosing? I choose my own too.
huh?
Maybe she will
The
choose
sp-
polygamy.
the spouse and the
She
husband.
will
Like
choose polygamy.
I've
So
seen
can a
marriages
woman
where
choose polygamy too? Can a woman choose polygamy?
yes, yes. So let me
Oh,
say
she can
this.
have multiple husbands.
Let me say this though.
Okay,
There
go
are
ahead.
marriages that have happened where that have separated on the court date, where when they because both of them have to sign the same. So like for example, on that section it would say polygamy. If the man says polygamy, the woman has to sign agreeing to that. If she doesn't agree, then they cannot marry. That's how it works.
Mm. So,
So most of
question
the
for
times
you.
people would
Mhm.
discuss it before they go in front of the judge or the mayor that signs the document saying, okay, we're gonna sign polygamy. Because if you sign monogamy, you cannot marry legally in court again if your marriage split. So most of the time the women, unless the person is dead, then you can remarry, but you will have to show um proof of death, like a death certificate of your other spouse. But if you guys both signed, if one person came and said, I don't want polygamy, then the mayor would not marry you guys.
So the lady who goes for multiple relationship is polyandry. Now,
Mm.
this this
And let me
polyandry
know. Hmm.
is polyandry. Polyandry is a female who practice multiple, who got multiple husbands. But
I saw that in Africa. I saw a video on YouTube.
yeah,
They're happy. Wow.
but it's something. I mean, I just brought that question to me that if people can have that thinking that you can
Right.
marry, those kind of thing, what makes it difficult that you can live under the same roof while you have your husband and I have my wife. We are ex, yet taking care of our children under the same roof. It's not
I
impossible.
got your point though. That
That's
does make sense. It does
the
make
point
sense.
I was making. So it's not like it's easy to do. No, I mean, it's difficult. Yes, it's difficult, but on a certain, circumstances, is it prudent to do it? Yes, it's prudent
Yeah.
because of what the kind of look in this country, like you gave example, say a lady that was taking care of the children, a sit-home mother, your wife,
Mhm.
she gave birth to 3 children, and then out of something, maybe you say because she's sitting at home now, she got maybe heavy, you don't want her any longer, and you decide not to go around her. Okay, will you put her out knowing that financially she's not stable no matter what happened in the next 3, 4, 5 to 1 year? She will not just get into workspace. Where the children
So
going?
so you don't
So
think that's an emotional distress? Sorry, I don't mean to cut you
yeah,
off, but like
it is.
you don't think it's an emotional distress on her?
Yeah,
Why can't he rent a place for her? Because she's not choosing to be out of the relationship. He's choosing for her to be out. Not
but you know
for her
what?
on the street, but for her own stability to be present with her kids and things like that. Why not, find a place that you can afford? Because
Why if you
you caused that problem.
why if you
Can
cannot afford 2 homes?
Then
can I
he
say
needs to be in
something?
a relationship and help her lose that weight.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Uh,
Sure.
River says Pro made a really good point, and it bring me back to the point that I made earlier. He said, "My
Yeah, I want us
coworker
to
is
look at
current."
the comment section. Go ahead, Anna.
He said, "My coworker."
I
He
can
said,
read
"My
it.
co."
You want me to read it?
Yeah, he said my coworker is currently in divorce proceedings. He and his ex-wife bought a home together. The house is out for sale. They both live together until the house is sold. I don't see any signs of distress in him. That's what I'm saying. If it's mutual, right? If people can live in the same house but live separately, especially if they're mature enough and they've come to a realization that they cannot work, people can do it. There may be one
Yeah,
person
but
in
how
there that
long?
may.
Sorry, but how long? How long? Because right now the trend is people is like a normal thing. They live together for X amount of time until the other person is ready to get married. In this situation, is a temporary situation. For me, I can do it temporarily, right? But I'm looking at it from the long haul where people are like, well, we'll just live together financially. It supports our lifestyle. So why
I
not?
mean, people do it, but I don't think it's feasible because there's a lot of we're humans, right? There tend to be jealousy. You at some point see that the other person is moving and having a better life than you, and you would get that little sense of jealousy. So I definitely think that in the long, if it's temporarily, it works. That's why I was saying down to the end of the lease because you know that there's a deadline. But if
Okay.
it's like indefinite, it doesn't work.
Okay.
it,
So
it,
temporarily you will say yes.
it would never work.
Yes.
The only
Okay.
definition of temporary is what we're talking about now. But
Yeah.
Okay. Then I
permanent,
agree with you guys. Then I agree.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not. It's not
Because
what
it's
we
a
discussed.
deadline. The end of the lease is a deadline, right? And if for people like with the mortgage or like the River Says Pro person, there's a deadline. The deadline is when the house gets sold, which
Right.
What if that
obviously is
takes
going to
years
get sold.
for a house sale? I don't agree because that could take years.
Who knows? I mean, it could be 2, 3 years.
It can. I've seen someone who, actually, my ex boss, she moved from Pennsylvania to DC. She and her ex husband have been separated for 10 years. 10 years. They still ain't divorced yet. They only got one child together. That girl is grown, has her own family, everything. And they can't agree on the amount they want to sell the house for. So they're still like bad. And so,
You're
like,
not
so
serious. If they really wanted to get divorced, they would have been divorced. People are always buying
People want
houses,
to go back
even
together.
houses that are shattered.
I don't
People
know.
still
I
buy.
don't. The guy has a legal girlfriend that he brings her around as well to the every function he has with the girl, and she used to confide in me. And I'm like, this is craziness. Y'all are messy.
She's still in love with him. She needs to get herself
The both of them
together.
are not ready yet.
Exactly.
10
That's
So,
years,
exactly what I said.
here's another thing. River says
10
Pro
years
said
in
divorce is
separation.
such a sad thing.
Okay.
Do you guys sometimes think
Yeah.
about the possibility? Imagine leaving a home and life you built together. That's where it doesn't sit right with me with the whole, we live in the house because for me, I'm emotionally connected to my home, right? And most women are. This is a home that if you just think about it, when you first got married, you like built a lot of memories together in that home. Your first child was born. Every struggle, every life situation you've ever had, you both had it together in this home, right? Unless there's a possibility that both are just trying to figure out, maybe we will work it out. There is hope. But right now, let me just give you space. I feel like that will work. But I started to think about, okay, our kids were born here. This is where we entertain family. This is where we dance. We do a lot of things. And now we're separated, but I have to watch you to tell me you're ready to, start dating and things like that. That's where I feel like the emotional trauma outweighs the maturity. I really feel that way because as mature as I feel I am, and you like people say you never know till you're there, right? Which I pray I never be there. But who knows? Nobody know what tomorrow holds, right? You can just hope and pray for the best. But if that was, would you do it? Let's flip the
Let-
script. Would
Wait,
you do it?
before you conclude on this
Hmm.
thing, I'm seeing the enthusiasm. I'm seeing how the interest of the topic is moving forward. In a much I we have our busy schedules at times, most of us. But if I would appeal to the team, can we do part two of this thing our next program? I think we need to go
You want to
deeper.
do part two?
Yeah, I think we need to do part two during our next program to go deeper into this. Some of the unanswered questions and some of those things and that we have not really touched because this, like, remember we said we might not be expert in some of these things we discussed, but from experience from other people and what we read, I'm going to advise people who are into this situation what kind of advice we're going to give them. So it's
Right.
good that we do it, that we're good about it. Maybe the next time, I thought to just share that with us. Maybe we'll run a part two.
I
I
agree
agree
with
with
you. I
you.
think we should. Huh? You agree? We should
I
do
think I
part
agree
two
with
where we
you.
talk about people that are actually doing it. How is it working? What are those things that will actually work? And if it didn't work, like, what was the cause that it
I
didn't work? We
I
all know
have I
why it
have
didn't
a
work.
I have an addition. I think
Mhm.
we should also discuss like like some like the pros and cons of staying together and the cons for not being together, and then maybe what are some of the things that people can do that will help them successfully cohabit together even while separated. What are some things that they should do, the do's and don'ts,
Right, right.
to
We'll
have
we'll
a
discuss that
successful,
because I
yeah.
do have few follow-up questions. I have a lot of follow-up questions. Like River says Pro raised a very, very interesting point, right? Holidays with the kids, the family, Thanksgiving. Are you gonna be doing all that together? So I definitely agree we should have part two. Yeah.
Yeah, River Says Pro talked about like the disappointment of not no longer spending like special family events together. after you're getting ready to split, and he talked about like having strength for two women. I
Which
don't
strength
think
your
that
father
having
have?
two women is
That's
stressful.
what kind when the two
If you
women that
treat
trust
your
me more than
woman
Yeah,
they
yeah,
right,
think.
which strength your father have? Your father have which strength your father have?
It's inside you, my brother. I trust you, man.
You
You
mind,
got
that's a
this.
good question for him. Your father have all the women, and he tell
Yeah,
me, say,
father have
there's,
all the women. They may
you,
pass
you,
it over to you. The
you know what?
father
He
have.
All right, guys.
That's my brother. Let's try to close. Let's try to close.
Yeah, you gotta know what Jimmy we running so.
next week. Next week we're going to have part two of this show, and we're going to look at the pros and the cons, and we're going to talk about like we'll dive a little bit deeper into like what does life look like for the kids, for like do you still operate as a parent, like cool, like the way you were husband and wife working your schedule around each other, like we want to dive a little bit deeper into that, and I think that would be a really good idea for this
Peter see my tea
segment
at
of the
me.
show. So let's everybody give their closing statement. I think the only question I wanted to ask, which I'll save it for part two. Watch out for part two. Make sure you share the show. Sorry guys, I had a lot of technical issue in the beginning, but we're here, figure out what the issues were. So I'm gonna let you guys give your closing statement each.
Yeah, so
All
let's
right.
start from Anna.
I'll go.
Mama, you're not going first. Wait for Anna.
Let a man
Anna,
go,
please go.
gentlemen first.
oh Jimmy, can I go first so I can go to bed?
Anna, go.
After
Thank you,
Anna,
Jimmy.
After Peterson, me. After me, Jimmy.
Jimmy, thank you. Um, Andrew, stop
Yo,
picking on
hold
my
on,
Jimmy.
y'all members are Pastor brother.
Aw,
Oh,
River says
Riverside
pro. I pray it
Pro.
never happens to you.
Yeah, Anna, go ahead, man.
Yeah, so I definitely think that, staying together or living together while separated is not a bad idea if it's temporary and you have a clear deadline, you have a vision of where you're going. I also think that it's beneficial to live together in the separation process because it could give you guys room to want to get back together if you guys decide, and it can also give you guys reasons why you really shouldn't be together. So I think that while you're living together but trying to separate, put a lot of things into perspective, weigh your options. What are the pros of this and what are the disadvantages? Is it worth it to leave that person and move out and be on your own? Are you ready to be out there doing your own thing without that person? Weigh your options, see what weighs more and which one is at the advantage. But other than that, I think that it's not a good idea if you want to do it long term. But if it's temporary, you do it, and you guys should have a conversation and be in one accord before doing it. So that way there are no conflicts while you guys are living together, but it's trying to separate. That's all I'll say for today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you guys. I think this was a great show. And as we're looking at things, the topics I believe when you guys were taking it first, everybody was like going the same direction. Everything is bad. But looking at it from the other angle, I think it making sense to understand that yes, why it is true the negatives could be there, the positive, in my opinion, outweigh the negatives. So indeed, I don't want us to look at it like it's wrong. It's not wrong. Now, I don't want us to also look at it like whenever you do that, your emotion will lead you to trouble. That would be like speaking in Africa. But if the conversation will be like we will do justice to our audience, then we have to be clear about it. And I feel that when you are in the Western world, depending on your location and what the law says and what you think the situation will provide to you the best way possible to grow your children's future or yourself, your partner, you know, you should be able to live up to that. Gender-based violence is a process through which even if the person is legally married to you and the person is not in the mood, you gotta understand that. What more? You have reached to agreement that this person can do her own thing, I can do my own thing. Both of you guys should understand that and live on your own. And I want to make that clear. It is our own opinion. It is not marriage counseling or stuff like that. But we think the positive that comes with those things, we need to look at it and give our own opinion to you and left with you to take a decision. The best one that go with you is what you go for. If you want to leave your children and leave because if you say you don't want the woman, she's going to get really another relationship and you forget your children, when they be good tomorrow, that's it. When they are not good tomorrow, you blame yourself. So from my end, I think that's how I would like to leave it.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. I think it was a great conversation. Like from the beginning, we were, especially me, I was going directly with the issue of divorce, you know, but little did I know that it was, you know, talking about separation because from the previous flyer, that's where I was going to, you know, that's where I was going from. However, I still maintain that if you both are on separation, you should not be living together. Because what is separation when you are still sharing the same space, still doing everything together except for cohabiting as husband and wife? And living together can even, you know, I will reiterate to say it will delay any process of continuing, you know, the relationship or ending it. It is traumatizing. Um, I know some people will base their judgment on economic, you know, benefits, co-parenting, and all of that. But you can still co-parent without living together. The reason you're settled to go on separation is it should be that same reason why you shouldn't live together. Because what is separation? Let's go and look at the definition of separation, you know, in marriage. Okay. So if two of you could not agree and decide to separate, living together will not change anything. It's a waste of your time and consider the mental, you know, issues that comes with it.
Uh,
You want to move, you want to do stuff, but you can't do them because you are in a space with this person. And sometimes things going to get heated. Okay. So to avoid all of this, you know, if you have a home together, like River says, co-worker and his wife, you put it out for sale. You both go work and share the mortgage together, or you go squat somewhere with, you know, family or friends you know, until you get it together or, you know, until you get it going. But it is not possible to live in the same space. it would delay a whole lot of things, especially for someone who want to move on. But thank you, and that would be my 2 cents for tonight. And I look forward to the next discussion. And after this, I have a topic: court marriage versus church marriage. Are they one marriage? If you marry in a court and then you get married in the church, is that two marriages for one couple?
Jimmy, how can you do that? You give a non-close and then you just brought something else inside the thing. You got all our emotions. Jimmy.
Everyone say carry emotion on us. Yeah, but guys, I think it was a fascinating discussion. So after this, let's think about the topic that I just suggested. Adequate, and tell me whether we are actually having two marriages, for one couple.
Three
marriages. Yeah, the traditional one, right?
Yeah, what I'm saying. Oh, yeah.
Jimmy, you got my emotions all into it, and then boom, you drop another bomb. This is why separated and married people can't be together. Let's hear from our co-host.
Okay, it was a great time to be here.
Delinquent co-host, you are not seeing next on it
to discuss this emotionally true topic. I mean, it's so important that we are here today, and I want to thank you, every one of you who came. Peterson, it's been a very long time. But I promise to give you a call, maybe midnight. But I will give you a call right after the show, not immediately after the show, but before you go to bed on your end, I will call you. Yeah, you say what, Peterson?
No, you already said yeah. That's why.
Yeah. But let's be frank with issue, right? I want to be clear on this one, emphatic on it. I wouldn't have asked anyone who is separated, who going through divorce, and they are separated, no matter what the odds may be. Look, I wouldn't have asked because I know what my friend is going through right now. He's going through a real torment. He's going through hellfire right now. Man. And for me, I can't advise anybody. I can't advise anybody to stay there. I will think you love your children, you love your family, but if you still have feelings for that woman, you still love her. If you find a way and go out, it will kill the feelings. But if you stay there, that's at your own risk. You will kill yourself emotionally. You see why people go through a lot of depression sometimes? These are some of the things that carry them through depression. But for me personally, as a man, I'm speaking as a man, and I'm speaking as my name, keep it. I wouldn't do that. To avoid everything, I will not stay there. I will either move out and sit somewhere instead of me being in a place and just be hurting my own feelings for nothing. Though I love you. No. Even though, but I will not do it. But on that note, I want to say thank you to every one of us who joined the show tonight. I hope to be here again next Sunday, so together we can have another stimulating discussion based on topic that we may not have earlier on, but from other things we can be able to discuss issues that will benefit other people that are going through such traumatic situation. Thank you, and let God bless each and every one of us. I'll see you again.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. First, I just want to say thank you, guys. Thank you to our audience. Thank you for bearing with me and my crazy network situation. It was a rocky start, but here we are. I'm so excited. I want to say thank you to Jimmy, our very, very one and only co-host.
Oh, please.
Anna and Peterson
Co-host.
and River says,
Assistant-
bro, you need to let me know when you're gonna join the crew.
Maybe
Just
Russell
want to
be
say
assistant
thank you.
co-host.
I know. Yeah, we have to make. No, I come and get that position to Riverside Pro because he's always here.
Ah, I see that.
Mama Peterson, how was the inauguration?
Not yet, bro.
It's October.
Who
It's October.
position you come to get somebody?
Oh, it's October. Okay.
Let me get my closing. Like people are like, make me find me. I know after they he come and call me.
It's
See what lost
October,
will bring you on the
Jimmy.
planner.
October 25th.
Oh man. But yeah, I
Oh,
just want
okay.
to say thank you so much. This is such a sensitive but yet very important topic that I feel like it needs to be discussed because it is happening and I feel like it's going to be normalized very soon. Which is better for people to really start putting their mind around it. I think it's good to be mature and you can do it, but I also believe when people don't have emotional control, that's another key thing to actually doing this. I would say I wouldn't do it myself. I wouldn't even recommend it because I feel like just the type of relationship that I have built, I think it depends from persons to persons, right? I have built and the way it looks, that dynamic wouldn't work for me because I would be at the devastating end. For me, that's how I feel. Um, so I don't think, but I think it's doable. I think when both people understand each other and they feel a certain way about each other, and when you're out, you're out. When women are out, they're out. And I feel like sometimes women do things to really make the man get there. So I wouldn't recommend it for a man. And then also, it could help your marriage. It could be something that brings you back together and helps your family. So each their own. But I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't recommend it for myself, my family, or anyone. I think it's an emotional game, it's a chess game, and somebody is bound to not be in a very good situation. I just want to leave our audience with few questions for our next part of this show. Okay, this segment of the show. Would you ever live with your spouse like a roommate? No intimacy, no sex, just plain old best friend, like friends, platonic friendship. Like it never happened. It's kind of like erase it. We were never intimate. We never did anything with each other. We're just business partner. I can see that some people could do it. The next question is, if your partner suggests this, would you see it as a practical compromise, or do you feel like it's a slap in your face? If you truly do still want the relationship, do you think it's a slap in the face? I want you guys to really sit and think about this before we come back next week. Can you date while still living under the same roof as your ex or spouse? Like, as you're still there legally, you still have every right over your partner, but you can't touch them. You can't do anything to them because they've told you no. But now they're willing to go on dates. You see them dressed up. They dress up really nice and they're going out, staying up late, coming. It's like you watch the kids, I watch the kids. You come up with that. So just want to make sure that you guys understand that. So I want to leave you with those questions and make you to understand that that's where I want your mind to be when we come next week. So thank you so much for all the love you guys are showing for us returning today. And thank you to our audience. Thank you. Please keep sharing. Keep sharing. Because now you can subscribe to our page. So please show us some love and subscribe. Okay, let's keep this coming. Thank you guys. That's all I have to say. Have a great week. Be safe out there until next week. Thank you.
Okay, man, host. I don't know. I will call you. No, you can't sleep. You're going to work tomorrow in the evening, right? I will call you in the evening. Tonight, I will call you tonight. You and Peterson, I owe you guys call. But when I finish, I will call you guys.
Why are you in the dark?
Why I'm in the dark? Oh, yeah.
That's a photo. That's a photo down there that my brother downloading. You know, last year, the leg will strike you.
Bye. I'm gonna put us in the studio.
Man, I see you guys, man. I see you. Man.